Hello and welcome to the Geek Spot podcast with Elle and V.
Hello and welcome to the Geek Spot podcast.
It keeps saying unable to load update, and you need to do it like 5 times, then shut the window down and reopen it again before it lets you in. Like, I use Zoom all the time, doesn't need an update.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's weird. Updates are the bane of my life. You want to do something, you go on, it needs an update. Then once it's had an update, something else needs an update. Oh my god.
Try using a Mac.
I couldn't.
Oh, you've upgraded this, so now this won't run. Oh, they haven't released it for the latest upgrade of the Mac.
Oh, fantastic.
So like,
yeah.
I've never been able to get a scanner to work because every scanner I get then doesn't have an update available as fast as Apple release updates for.
Oh, they release them like farts.
Yeah, so no software for a driver for a scanner will work on the computer. It's a pain in the ass.
Technology.
Off-world activation.
Right, so from technology to archaeology, which are you excited today? By the way, I forgot to ask you, it is archaeology related. All the Indiana Jones films are on Disney Plus as of today. Not that I'm advertising for Disney Plus, but today they were all released on there.
I would say I would be excited if I didn't own them all.
See, I'm old fashioned like you. I own everything. Yeah. I hate not being able to find stuff on things.
I own them on DVD and I've also bought them on the Sky Store. I don't have a DVD player anymore and I must have 200 DVDs in this living room.
Oh my, I couldn't live without a DVD player.
No, I mean, I've got one. It's just physically not plugged into any telly anywhere in the house. I don't even have a games console I could put one into. So,
see, that's where I couldn't decide what to do DVD wise for the bedroom. So I thought I'll just put an Xbox in there as well. Then you've got the choice. So archaeology in Stargate, which we've talked about a lot already. Do you think Daniel Jackson's a good portrayal of an archaeologist, or is he another odd job man that kind of fills a role whenever it suits?
I think Daniel Jackson is more the stereotypical archaeologist type.
Head in books, head in sand.
Head in books, head in sand, bit of a geek, bit of a loader. I mean, he has allergies, for goodness sake.
Yeah, send Kleenex. Totally.
And I think correctly or incorrectly, that is 90% of people's vision of what an archaeologist looks like. He's just 30 years younger than the mental picture most people have.
Yeah. As in comparison with Indiana Jones, what do you think? Given that I don't really like Indiana Jones as an archaeologist.
I think as an archaeologist, he actually sucks quite a lot.
Yeah.
He does destroy more than he actually saves, more often than not.
Yeah, it's like archaeology for Hollywood. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like an archaeologist excavating with a sledgehammer.
Yeah, I mean, we do use JCBs, but carefully.
Yeah, but gently. You don't see Time Team going down there with a grenade or something.
Yes, the holy hand grenade of Antioch is here.
No. Yeah.
So definitely Daniel Jackson's a more kind of rounded view of the archaeologist.
I think so, although that's maybe doing poorly to archaeologists. I think I think a lot of the generation that are probably archaeologists now are archaeologists because of Indiana Jones.
You'd be surprised. There's a lot. It's quite irritating.
I mean, they think they are going to go off and fight some Nazis or find the Holy Grail.
Yeah. It's everyone has their own kind of thing that they like, and yeah, there's a lot of Indiana Jones fans. Not a lot of Tomb Raider ones, which annoys me. 'Cause she's like, all right, she's just the female Indiana Jones, but come
Hmm.
on, go for the female one instead of the male one. Root for your own team.
See, I'd go India above Lara.
Oh no, I mean Lara can kick ass.
Indy's not too shabby.
I mean, she's got guns strapped to her legs, and
I'm not saying she's not cool. Indiana Jones shoots that guy with the two machetes.
yeah, yeah, that's pretty cool.
He only did that, by the way, because he was sick that day. No,
It
it was serious. Serious, it was a whole choreography fighting scene, and Harrison Ford was so ill, he'd been thrown up and stuff. He couldn't do the scene, and he just went, I'm just going to shoot him. And they just shot him, and they just cut out the bit where he said, I'm just going to shoot him. And that was it. And they left it in because it was so funny.
Now I'm thinking about that scene. That scene's making me think of Jack O'Neill, weirdly. That's
Yeah,
like
no.
some sort of response he would have of,
Yeah, but no, I don't have time for this shit.
yeah, just
Bang.
die.
That'll do.
Yeah,
That's a quicker way to get the job done.
totally. Not a fair way, but quicker.
No, definitely. But I mean, to be fair, I don't actually know why I was having this discussion only yesterday. I'm pretty sure I could shoot someone, but I don't think I could stab someone.
Oh, now that is a weird thought to be having. Yeah. So why do you think you could shoot someone but you couldn't stab someone? Is it the actual closeness of it?
Yeah, it's the act of stabbing someone. I think when you shoot someone, you're removed. By the way, it wasn't me that asked this question, and I just backed up somebody else's response to it. I don't have the thoughts of shooting someone mainly because I think guns are
Atrocious. Abominable.
atrocious.
Yep.
Yeah, all those words 100%. But I don't know if I could plunge something through somebody's skin. Ugh.
But then you're doing
Where-
the same thing with a gun. You're
yeah,
plunging
but
it through the
you're
skin.
not actually feeling the response. You know what I mean? You're not having the actual sensation of having to do that.
No, but you will get kickback from the gun. So you will get some sort of sensation.
Yeah, well, but by that point, you're like, oh, that's not human flesh and bone doing that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I think,
I know what you
I
mean.
think it's
Yeah.
easier to fire a gun than stab someone.
Yeah, I would say it's messier to fire a gun. You're more likely to not be able to deal with the mess.
Unless they were clicking a pen, then I'm pretty sure I could do it either way.
No, no, my head knows what to do with that one. Bullseye
Yeah.
effort. You pick up the pen and you stab them in the throat with it. But we'll leave that there.
Stab them with a pen, yeah. I'm just like, we are
Yeah.
so twisted.
Bullseye in Daredevil just sums that up for me where like he chokes the old woman eating peanuts because
Yeah,
he's not in. Yeah. It's just that's dark humour is just wonderful.
absolutely. I can't even remember the reason we were having this conversation yesterday, but we were.
It's weird how things like that just crop up in a conversation and then you think back, you think, the hell?
That's not even top of the weird conversations I had yesterday. So
Well,
that is
yep.
it's like working in my work.
Final question would be, which character do you think you are most like out of either of the universes, either SG-1 or Atlantis?
Mm.
Or you can have one in both if you think there's one that's maybe got some and one and some in the other.
Oh, that's so difficult. I'd love to say Carter, but I can't decide between Teal'c or Daniel. I think I would do anything for my family, Teal'c style.
Yep.
I think, just as you were saying before, I would preserve everything like Daniel Jackson does, and ultimately give up my life for people I cared about.
Yeah.
What about you?
Probably a kind of similar approach of Daniel Jackson because I like to get into the arse end of everything and find out as much as I can. So, like we were saying, didn't want to leave anything behind, would not be happy, would want to analyze everything.
Absolutely.
But then also, I really like, my names just went right out my head. The female in Atlantis.
Yeah, I like her too.
Oh,
my head too.
My brain's
And
went.
sort of is, with Jason, but isn't, but is, and she has the baby and
Yeah, it's. I like the fact that she's
badass too.
badass, but she's also worldly, and that she'll go and she'll talk to the tribal leaders and all that sort of stuff. I like that kind of thing. That's yeah.
Taylor.
Taylor, that's it, Taylor. Yeah. So somewhere probably between Daniel Jackson and Taylor. Yeah.
Shepard's quite good too. We haven't even mentioned Shepard.
No, we haven't. I think he gets lost because of Jack. And
I think so too, but he's also standalone. If you've only ever watched
yep,
Atlantis,
he takes his own control of the yeah. I'd agree with that.
yeah, he's also a very lovable character as well, and
Yeah, he's a kind of all around American.
it's not bad to look at either.
Yeah. I think I'm just more of the geek gal. And that yeah, Rodney and Carson
Yeah,
kind of swung me and Ronan took the muscle side of it, so best of both worlds.
yeah. Doctor Weir was good too.
See, I wasn't really. I thought she was all right to start with, then I went off her. Then Wolsey came in, and I really didn't like him. He was an
No,
ass,
no.
especially in SG1. He was an ass. But then he grew on me in Atlantis, and I really quite liked him in that,
Hmm.
compared with the kind of leader that they'd had. Obviously, when was it the Replicators she went away with? I'm trying to remember now. It's been that long since I've watched Atlantis. Yeah, so I wasn't sure about her, and Wolsey turned me.
I also quite liked. We haven't even discussed this bit of it. Universe.
I've not seen any of Universe. It's one that passed me by.
Robert Carlyle's in it.
I know, and that's what I find strange that it passed me by because I do like Robert Carlyle.
Mm.
Yeah.
So there's Louis Ferreira in that plays the sort of guy in charge, Colonel Everett Young. He's quite a strong leader too. Don't know if you've tried to explain who he is. Did you ever watch SWAT
What?
with my man in it, Shema Moore?
Oh, when you've said my man, I know who you mean now. I know what program.
Yeah, so
The,
he
yeah.
takes over from him as a leader. He's quite, you would know him. You would know him. So in that, he's very, very good. I'm trying to see if I can find what else he was in. He's quite.
Did they kind of keep with the same sci-fi as the other Stargates, or did they veer off on their own?
They kind of kept with it, but they got stuck. It was a bit Voyager. It was a bit Stargate Voyager. No, it was good. I would recommend it. Obviously it got axed, but I didn't think it was a bad thing at all. I thought it was really good, and a lot of people got into watching it and were just as disappointed as me when it finished.
Yeah, well, there was a lot like that with Atlantis, and they were hoping for a movie
Mm.
that never came to anything.
Absolutely.
We did seem to go through a phase of just cancelling actual decent TV programs for no reason. I mean, writer strikes have caused problems. We get writer strikes have caused problems and things like that. But then there's just, 2 seasons and we'll just leave all the storylines unfinished. Great, thanks.
No, absolutely. So yeah, no, so that was good, but yeah, no, I think I stick with my what we like. Both of us choose the absolute geek. Not stereotypical of us whatsoever.
Not the slightest, no. Not at all. We're gonna talk about the Stargate Trek paper by David Gerald. Here's something I never thought I'd be saying on a recording: a paper about Star Trek.
There we go.
Stargate Trek by David Gerald. From Stepping Through the Stargate, Science, Archaeology and the Military in Stargate SG-1 by Elrod and Conrad.
When you talk about science fiction on television, there's Star Trek and then there's everything else. And that's unfortunate because a lot of the everything else is pretty damn good. Oftentimes even better than Star Trek. Case in point, Stargate SG-1. Trek's essential formula is this. The multi-species crew of a faster-than-light starship travel from planet to planet, seeking out new life and new civilizations, sometimes so they can defeat the sinister alien threat of the Borg. Stargate's essential formula is this. A multi-species team of commandos use a faster-than-light wormhole through space to travel from world to world, seeking out new life and new civilizations, sometimes so they can defeat the sinister alien threat of the Goa'uld. Or let me say it another way. Star Trek is about the civilization of the weak. Stargate is about the civilization of the weak. See the difference? Not clear yet. Star Trek had Spock to explain those strange new worlds, and later on Worf. Stargate has Teal'c to explain those strange new worlds. Okay, so the two shows are identical, but then so are Star Trek Next Generation, Voyager, Enterprise, Andromeda, Firefly, Battlestar Galactica. Those shows are also cloned from the same vat of television DNA.
You're the big Trekkie.
Hell yeah.
So this is gonna lean heavily on your Trek knowledge. I've seen most of Next Gen and a few of the movies, original movies and new ones, and then new ones. So what do you think about David Gerald's idea that Stargate is very similar to Star Trek?
The Trekkie in me wants to go, are you joking me?
See, I thought that, and then I'm reading it and I'm going, okay, you're making a valid point, and another one, and another one.
No, I think that's the point, that we need to remember that Star Trek was the basis of all space exploration.
Yeah, and some of our technology now.
And technology, it was the basis of all the space exploration films and all the sci-fi out there we watch, from Firefly to Stargate. It was all inspired back by Gene. So you can't actually say no, it's not similar, because it absolutely is.
Yeah. Do you prefer the Star Trek idea of a new civilization every week, or do you prefer the Stargate, like we were talking about Apophis, where it's a kind of, there's an overarching weaved in storyline as well as the every week stories?
Every week stories are good in the fact that you don't have to have what, like sitting down for a box set now, you need to commit yourself to watching the box set. That if you need to sit and invest, you've got 12 hours of this to watch before a storyline completes. So Stargate original series was very good in that it was combined in that little bubble of one episode. You could have not seen last week's but watch this week's.
Yeah. So I had that easy pick up kind of nature of, I'm just scrolling through that'll do, Stargate, there we go.
Yeah. However, both Star Trek then moved into obviously the Borg, which was always an underlying story in Next Gen, but there was also a new civilization every week, so that kind of gave us the best of both worlds.
Yeah, you had the good mix again of you're not tied to one specific thing, you can just pop in and out when you want.
Absolutely. So I think there's pros and cons to both. Again, the things with like the Wraith and whatever, there was episodes where they went to other planets and it was a planet that then they'd maybe find out there's a Wraith been hiding in the background or something. It wasn't, it played more of an Next Gen thing.
Yeah.
To the original SG-1 as well, when it was, it moved on to the Wraith instead of the Goa'uld. So, yeah, I think there's merits to both. What about yourself?
I didn't think there was that much similarities till I started thinking about it, and like yourself, you can see where things have been picked up, and they like that in Star Trek, so we'll try that for Stargate, and just little bits and pieces along the way. I do prefer Stargate's kind of, I don't know if it's because they've got Daniel Jackson, they've got the archaeologist, they've got someone who's more interested in the cultural side of things as well, as we're on a new planet, what's happening, science and all that sort of stuff. But it's nice to have a different perspective as well. Like, we're not just going for what technology can we get from you, or medicines, etc. Like, what's your culture? What's your heritage? Like your
You got a
different.
bit of that from Spock, though, you did.
Yeah.
But not anywhere near as much as you get from Daniel Jackson, obviously.
And I think because it works so well with the storyline of it being the Egyptian heritage, and then they bring in obviously Thor and the Norse gods. So it's, I think, like you say, it's seen the best parts and what's come before,
Yeah,
and then it's went right. We'll have that. We'll have that. We'll have that, and this is what we're going to run with.
definitely.
How do you think O'Neill compares with Kirk, given that you love Jack O'Neill and that you love Star Trek?
See if you'd asked me this 10 years ago, I would have definitely have said Kirk. From all accounts now, William Shatner's not too much of a nice guy to actually work with.
Yeah.
And in order to sort of take that away from the actual character, Kirk himself was very out for Kirk himself.
Yeah, he was very self-aware, self-centered.
I mean, don't get me wrong, his ship came first to him too, but that was a bit like small man syndrome. Do you know what I mean? He looked after the ship and the crew because they were an extension of him.
Yeah, they were his Ferrari type thing.
I was trying to make a way to word it which wasn't penis extension.
Yeah, we'll go Ferrari.
Yeah, let's go Ferrari. Midlife crisis type, small man syndrome.
Yes.
Let's go Ferrari. Yeah. But then you watch a bit more of, especially in the newer films, you see his upbringing, you understand a bit more what could have made him like that it was out of necessity.
Yeah, I like that you're actually getting a bit more of a story,
Mm-hmm.
filling in certain things, and you do look at him slightly differently of, right, so that's maybe why you're a bit of a cowboy. Okay.
Yeah, but then Jack's also a total cowboy.
Yeah.
Jack disobeys orders every other episode.
Totally. Who are these people? Oh, they're just some aliens off a planet. By the way, the bad guys are coming, you might want to shut that eye.
But then Jack also is very much of, it starts in the film, looking after that small boy and,
Yep.
That he didn't know from Adam. So Jack has a lot of heart, which is very obvious to see. Whereas with Kirk, you really need to dig deep to see.
I think Jack tries to hide it.
I think, but he feels in the sense, you only ever really see Kirk, especially in the TOS films, when Spock dies. That's
the only kind of
really see. Oh, he might not just care about just himself. People actually do matter to him. Oh, it is his best friend.
Yeah, he has actually maybe got a heart and a soul in there.
Yeah, whereas I think as well, you can't mention the two of them without mentioning the difference in their love interests.
Yes.
Kirk, girl at every port. Jack, so aware of his status, so in love with Carter, and he knows he can't act on it.
Yeah, so he's just kind of in that limbo of, yep.
But you don't see him going off womanizing just because he can't have the one he wants. He sticks by her. He's absolutely besotted with her, and it's so clear.
Yeah, it's nice to see the different side of it. Like you said, normally it would be, all right, I can't get the girl I want, so let's just go and have every bird in sight.
Yeah, and let's be honest, he could have got any bird in sight. He absolutely could have. Before he, got fat and old.
Yeah, we'll cut that. What did you think of the different Jaffa uniforms and armor, and the kind of how they were still historical? So they were like Anubis or Horus, the gods, but they basically were super cool that they folded back, and then it was just a normal guy underneath.
Well, I loved the imagery of it. I absolutely did. But most of them, you're like, there's no way that folds back like that.
Yeah.
I don't care what technology you've got, that just absolutely doesn't work.
Yeah, that's just going to get slid back and forward in between.
I mean, I'm willing to look beyond the Stargate. That's probably probable, but nah.
No, we couldn't have something like that. I mean, that's true though, because think about soft top cars and hard top, like ones that fold back. You've got to pull the car over and do all this fancy, yeah. So totally, I'm actually with you now. I don't think that would be.
No, that was a bit like, nah, don't get that bit.
We believe like the lasers fired out of end of weapons and things like that. Not the helmet, no.
Not glowing eyes. Yeah, I'm fine with that, but nah.
Yeah, the glowing eyes.
And then they never folded back into like, You know, have you ever had a jacket with one of those hoods that you can roll up and zip into the back of your jacket?
Yeah, it's like a pop-up tent. It's never going back in there. Never.
Yeah, there's always a bump. Where did that bump go if they fold down these helmets? Where is it?
Yeah.
I want to look round. He's walking away from screen just before Jack's about to kill him. I want to see a big lump at the back of his neck where he's just folded that into.
Yeah, like I want the engineering of it. Yeah, I think we need to see that. Come on, there must be a geek out there that's done it somewhere.
Yeah, there most probably is, by the way. Well, so you're with me on that? That was a bridge too far.
Yeah, yeah. When I think about like where we are, and yeah, we still can't do it with a soft top car. So, I mean, they're alien, but I don't trust them with that either.
Yeah, we were told believe in the rings, but full way, no.
Oh, the rings! No, the rings are.
No, the rings are cool.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like the thought of it if it misses and like cuts you in half or something like that, but it's so cool.
Yeah, but then I also don't like the fact that if you stand too close when the Stargate makes its connection, you get
Or you get sucked, yeah, or blasted through, yeah. Oh,
yeah, like you are dead.
yeah.
There's quite a lot of death in it actually that you could have accidentally. Somebody just I don't know trips over and falls onto a dial device and just breaks himself. Don't let the kids play near that.
No, don't be touching the bit. Oh, he's touched the button. Oh dear.
Thanks for listening to the Geek Spot podcast with L and V.
Email us any questions in advance to gspotpodcast23@gmail.com. That's gspotpodcast23@gmail.com. Please also follow us at gspotpodcast23 on Twitter and subscribe to our new episodes on Spotify.